And we are back after technical difficulties, which was the file not saving on my computer. So here we are re-recording a little bit of the end of this episode. Nick had just ragged on Ben's draft because he didn't draft until the third round. I'm going to talk about somebody that I did not was not a fan of their draft, and it's not because they picked late. I do like Anthony Richardson as a prospect, but I'm going to say I don't necessarily know that I love Dennis's draft. I think he gave up too much to go up to number two. I know he really wanted a quarterback. I don't necessarily know he needed to go all the way to two, where he maybe could have looked at trying to just move into the 4 or 5 spot and take Young or Stroud. He also took Josh Downs in the second round as kind of a stack with Anthony Richardson. Now, ordinarily, I do like stacking. However, Anthony Richardson is a quarterback that we think is going to have huge upside because of his rushing ability. I don't necessarily love stacking a wide receiver with a quarterback that's going to rely mostly on rushing. So I don't, those two things kind of stood out to me. I like some of his other players, but I just was trying to find somebody that picked early that maybe I could nitpick on their draft some. Sorry, Dennis. All right, so now we'll talk about some people we whose drafts we liked. Nick, anybody that you had?
Yeah, I was looking through the drafts, and I think I like Andy's. I mean, can't go wrong with Bijan Robinson. Obviously, getting him at one, but I mean, be able to get Levis in the early second round. Same with Charbonnet. I mean, they just kind of just fell to him. Marvin Mims. I think he's going to take over that KJ Hamler role. I think KJ Hamler is going to be out in Denver. And then Tank Dell, like I said, I've heard good things about him as well. So I mean, I liked his. It's easy to have you know good picks when you have good picks when you have five in the first couple of rounds. So yeah, I liked Andy's draft.
Yeah, I agree with that. He made my list here of a couple of drafts that I liked, mostly because, like you said, he got value pretty much at every pick.
Yeah.
Marvin Mims was a guy I thought could have gone as early as the middle of the second round. So him picking him up 303 was probably a pretty good
Yeah.
steal. You said, do you think you take on the KJ Hamler role? I think you could take in the Cortland Sutton role. So,
Mm, true.
um, which is an even bigger role. He's definitely a player I was looking at, but just didn't have a chance to take him. All right, and then for winner for me, I went. It's funny.
You?
I go with the guy who had a early first round pick as a loser, and now a guy that I like as a winner is Doyle, and he didn't have a pick until 208. But I felt like it was the same thing. As far as where he was picking and the players he got, I feel like he got pretty good value with most of
Yeah.
his guys. Michael Mayer, I talked about maybe people were not high on tight ends, but I felt like he went kind of a tier below where I thought he would go. I thought he'd go up
Mhm.
with Laporta and Mingo in that area, and slipping a few picks, and then same with Jaden Reed, second round Packers wide receiver. Really, other than Christian Watson, who knows what's going to happen there? So it's kind of wide open for him to do something. Evander Kanda, same thing. Brees Hall, who knows how he's going to be coming off the ACL, that he
But you
could
have
he
but you
could
have Brees
grab some.
Hall, and you have Michael Carter, and
Yeah,
you have Zonovan Knight.
yeah. I mean, but who or either of
Yeah,
those guys going to dominate getting the ball? So if he comes in and looks good, they might just let him run until
that's
Brees
what they
comes
did,
back,
that's what they
and
did with Zonovan Knight last year.
yeah,
Yeah, whoever has the hot hand.
and then a flyer on Booty, who people love his talent, but who knows what's going to happen with him? He's shown that he can put up huge numbers, and see if it
Yeah.
translates to the NFL. So that was kind of our overall uh, review of the draft, winners and losers. Any final thoughts, Nick, that we haven't covered?
No, I'm definitely just excited to see where the season goes. I mean, anytime you have rookies coming in, and, we always place so much value on these rookies just because it's a dynasty league. But like,
Yeah,
it's fun to see how they grow and how they interact, not interact, but how they stack up against people, are sophomores or veterans who are 6 year, 10-year
Right.
players. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think as the NFL grows and as as it becomes more of like a passing league, it's nice to see that these wide receivers just come in and just dominate early.
Yeah.
I want to kind of see how that continues.
Yeah. This was definitely a unique drafting experience for me. As everyone, I said I was traveling during the draft. I'm in, rest stop bathrooms, throwing trades at people, seeing what happens. And most of those didn't go through, but I was able to make one trade, make a couple picks. So it's an interesting experience to say the least. So, all right, we'll close it out with Nick. Let's see if you have any bold predictions for our league this year, for fantasy, for NFL season, anything. I know we're all the way out here in the middle of June or end of June, so we got plenty of time. But let's just see if we can throw something crazy out there and it happens.
Yeah, what's really strange is between yesterday and today, my bold prediction yesterday was Nick to go three-peat back to back to back, and then this morning he changes his name to back to back to back, and so I was really confused because I don't know how
Like
he heard our
he hacked our
our feed. Yeah,
feed last night.
yeah, and then yeah, my bold prediction for the NFL. Lions versus Jags in the Super Bowl. Just want to see it just so that, like I said, the world implodes. 31-20 is my final score for that. And then rookie of the year, just throwing it way out there. I'm going to go with Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, Cleveland.
Okay,
Don't know why.
we didn't even talk about him.
I know. I see the name, and you know what? I don't know. I think he's going to put up a lot of numbers, and maybe not rookie of the year, but I think he's going to be up there.
All right, so that'll do it for episode one. This we're going to try to do this as a monthly thing. I have already talked to a few people. If you have interest in joining me on the podcast, just let me know. We got a few topics we're going to cover next time. I will be joined by Colin, and we'll be discussing trades because why wouldn't we talk about anything but trades if Colin's on the show, right, Nick?
Exactly.
So, all
Can't wait
right,
for that one.
signing off, and hope you guys enjoy it.